Hello, and welcome to another episode of Coding with Gerph. We are on session 5 now of... Come on, you move. Oh, this is doing well. We're on session 5 of live coding of the SystemVars module. Come on. Oh, I don't know why this is being weird. Definitely one of those odd things that I'm just going to have to put up with. Well, I can move the right hand side, I can't move the top. How about we move this one? Well, this is very odd. We'll just put up with them being this size, I guess. Right, anyway. Tooling problems aside. So yeah, episode 5 of SystemVars. So far we have loads of bits done, so we can build it, which we can demonstrate here. It will build. Just give it a moment. Here we are. Ta-da, built. We can run it. So pyro have common load module, SystemVars defaults, and drop to command line. So we can drop to command line and we should be able to do things like showing what the variables are and the like. So give it a moment, there we go. Let's start it up. We can do show sys $star, show all variables. That's all the ones we've registered at the moment. Even the random numbers working. Kind of fun, really. The random number and the time and the date and the year, I think. Yes, all those ones are all code variables, and code variables were implemented last week. Code variables are where we have a section of code inside another component which can be registered, and every time you read it, it will be called to read what the value is, or if you try to write it, it will try to write that value. And we got to the point last week where we had them working, but they were failing in 64-bit in a very odd way, although it wasn't just the code variables, it was all the variables were failing. And the reason for that, I thought at the time, was related to cmunge being broken. And that was indeed the case. So I fixed that offline. And I also fixed a couple of other things. So let me just jump back to here. Apparently I merged the last ones there, so we're currently on this branch here, implement codevars. And we have a number of commits on here. So we just have a look at the commits. And we'll see there are a number of breakages here. And then things were made to work. So just to cover what they were, this was the bit where we got things working, except for the 64-bit callx. Then I added a bit more in there. We did the 32-bit part. The 64-bit was getting us the strange errors. That was the one that was broken. So I had to fix some things, a number of bugs. So let's have a quick look at what that was, just for completeness. So here we go. I turned some debug off. Yeah, I discovered that an addr is actually currently just a 32-bit value because an address is only 32 bits, but the actual range of addresses is 64 bits. So it needed to be changed to that. So this is a difference between how we're implemented and how the code variables need to be. So a little bit of a difference there. Also, I realized that I was doing things slightly wrongly in the 64-bit. The actual definition says you can just return the error pointer in R0. So we return R0 being the error pointer. Excuse me. And we don't have to set the X flag. So R0 can be the 0 to mean no error, or go away. Or it can be an error pointer, and that just makes things simpler because we don't have to set the V flag. It means that in theory this code can actually be implemented directly as a section of C code, rather than having a veneer around it, or should be able to. And so that was implemented on the read and the write side. The write side was slightly wrong because it was still calling read, which didn't work. What else did we fix in here? Oh, that's wrong. Yes, I left a little bit of debug in there that went and tried to cause me to crash, so I'd get a backtrace and be able to trace things at that point. It helped to identify the problem, but it shouldn't be there. Some errors. Bad pointer is now an error, so for things that are invalid. And what else did I do? Oh yeah, I didn't realize here that I was passing in a value, the value 0, rather than the pointer to the integer I was trying to return. So that broke and crashed badly. A little bit more debug. Here's where we do bad pointer. So if the pointer is in the low section of memory, then we return a bad pointer. That shouldn't actually need to be data length because it's a uint, but no matter. Unknown data, we print out the data value. That's where the error pointer is returned, and then just I renumbered them slightly so that all of the bad things were at the beginning. Sorry, all bad things were together. No memory comes first. We're just reordering them, not particularly important. So that was the first of those changes, and the second of the changes was then removing that crash code that I saw. And then finally, we've got this test for the when the code tests that were failing when the code variables were present, and that was because although I'd separated things out in the main code, it was still being called in the makefile test, so I have to added some no code vars to turn off code variables. So that was the whole process we did with that, and yeah, nothing extra exciting here. Removing some commas for ugly cases of C89 compiler that we've got we're using here. Right, so that's where we got to. And as I say, it's working quite well. We can see it working here. And if we go and load it up in 64-bit, so if we change this all to be 64-bit instead, 64-bit, 64-bit there, and 64-bit of this module. I think it'll now fail because I forgot to build it, didn't I? I'll build a module. Just going to build 64. There we go. So we'll build that module and then we'll be able to try it out and just show that it really does work in 64-bit as well. Which should all be very, very simple to see. Yeah, since I added the -01, GCC takes a little bit longer to run now. Which is a little frustrating. Actually, it's a combination of GCC and the CLI transform that I do as well. Most of it is GCC, I believe, but there's a little bit of manipulation goes on to convert Riscos form things into GCC rest of the world style file formats, which actually you can see if you have a look in .ro transform. This is what has been converted. So we've actually got the standard form of the files, which are all symlinks, so that we're still referencing them properly, and the actual files themselves are still there, so that if they're referenced in the other format, in the rest of in a POSIX format but using Riscos layout, it ends up doing a different thing. There's also these magic include directories, which are transformations of .ro transform. Those are transformations of the regular libraries. So if you have a look in, for example, actually I look in DARM, might as well, since that's one of the ones we were looking at. So that's actually got the same style of transform, but for the exported headers. All of which means that if you invoke GCC on things, it can still work in the right way, and it's all transparent to the user, which is good, because you just want to be able to use the tools. You don't want to be caring about how it does things under the hood. Okay, so yeah, so that was the code variables. I built it. I was going to demonstrate it running. There we go. Let's try demonstrating it running. This is where we find out whether I had actually fixed it. So start show. There we go. This is a bit of debug that sits inside the SystemVars 64, SystemVars defaults 64. The random number generator is broken at the moment, which is a bit frustrating. Actually, it looks like all of this is broken. What's going on here? We've got empty strings. This is not working. So although it's not crashing, it's definitely not working either. So this will be something to do. Anyway, what I was just saying was the random number generator is broken, and one of the interesting things about this is, well, interesting in the sense of being very broken, is that it comes out with the same number every time, which isn't very helpful. The random number it's returning is essentially the random number generator is being reinitialized every time we call it. Which wasn't what I meant. I fixed it in the upstream code, but I haven't actually released a version of the C library that does that. So random number is currently broken, but even still, it should have returned a value, and it hasn't. So something's broken. We're going to have to see why. Let's have a look then. So here's a whole load of files. We want to have the code vars. Here we are. Right, so in the 64-bit side of the code, 64-bit side of the code, yep. The read call R0 00 0, return the error code. Let me have a look at the definition. It'll be better, won't it? Which is probably this bit here. Nope, that's not the one. How about this one? Modules, multiple instantiation, code variables. Here we go. On read, x contains 0, x0 contains 0, x1 contains 0. That's what I've done. R2 contains the workspace pointer, which is currently 0. We haven't implemented that. On exit, x1 will contain a pointer to the read data, and x2 contains the size. So, pointer to the data and a pointer to the size. Huh. So that looks like I'm returning the right things there. That's a little bit odd. That's a little bit odd. I wonder why that is. I'm a little confused at that. Right, well, in that case then, data name. But they're coming out as empty strings. Printf data points to p. That's what the where to store. Yeah, these under normal circumstances I would have written these as this. So let's do that. So I'm not quite so confused. Data p and the data will be that. Yeah, that's right. And then return error. Okay. Oh, yeah, star data. In fact, if it's being returned, we're actually getting back the red string here, so that should be okay. So if I just turn on the debug and build it, we should be able to see something better. So let's come out of that. Viscos ammo build 64:1, and when that's successful, show command show sys single quote, so we don't get expanded system or random. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Red empty string. So it is giving me back an empty string. That's odd. That is very odd. So why is that when it's working? Well, I'm assuming it's working. I do all this but without the new module, so like using the standard module, the standard Pyromaniac module. Show random. That works. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Debug trace. Whee! That's probably it doing a whole bunch of the random number initialization. I'll just do a little bit of a scroll here. Yeah, it's doing random number initialization. Yeah, spin to the bottom. There we are. Still going. Maybe I should have written this to a file rather than to the screen. No big deal. Still going. Yeah, still. Yeah, that was foolish, wasn't it? Let's kill that, shall we? Right, and instead, debug trace, and write trace to trace.txt, because that will be a lot faster. Oh no, because that's only doing it. I want it to do it. That's doing it for every bit of the code. So actually what we want to do is do boot debug, so it only does it once we start to call GOS. There we go, that's a lot faster, so it's not tracing the entire operating system startup. Now show sysrandom. Ooh, yeah, that's taken a while. And it's almost certainly just the initialization. Trace.txt. SystemVars read handler, SystemVars get, calls rand, and then we go into this stuff, which just keeps going and going and going. We spin to the end. It's still running. Still going. Yep. Oh dear. The fact that it was returning quite so quickly is quite nice actually, because it means that under normal circumstances it works just fine. Oh. Yeah, and then we call the random number generator a number of times. Oh, this is just tedious, isn't it? This is probably not the right way thing to do it. Right, let's look at it a different way. Kill that. Actually, I could rebuild SystemVars, SystemVar defaults to not do that, I suppose. What I wanted to do a while back was to have a trace, but only trace this module or this area of memory. I haven't got around to writing it because most of the time I haven't needed it. It's only when you actually need these things that you actually go, oh, I wish I'd done that. Because I wish I'd done that. Right, so this is the definition. Yeah. And why don't we have a look at SystemVars to see what it's SystemVar defaults and see what it's actually doing. Somewhere around here I've got a thing to open the window on it. No. Oh, that was the location anyway. So I'll just open it there. Subler. Right. So what does it actually do in the code variables? We spin down here. Variable read. Come on, where's the variable read? Here we go. If we're in 64-bit, R0. If we're in 64-bit and it was successful, then the pointer to the string goes into R1. If it was failing, the pointer to the string is 0. Fair enough. And the length is 0. Fair enough. So does this mean we can't be failing? No, we can't be failing because the what about so here's what this is in SystemVars. Here's where we print it out like as if it was actually returned properly. But here's if we just do red at %p lem %s I even. So we'll just do alright, that was the other way around. Data and data len. There. So then we'll print out what the values were that we read. Okay. Build it, show random. There we go. I've not got many viewers today, it looks like. At least Dave's here. Null, length 0. How weird. That is very odd, isn't it? Because it works when I call it in the Miscos Pyromaniac code. Or does it? Must be. Am I being stupid here? I may be being stupid here. Right. In is 0. In x1 is 0 as well. Private word. Output is the R0 value, which is an error pointer or 0. This is the pointer to the data, which, as we say, we've got this here coming out, and it is coming out as null, which is odd. And then the data length pointer, which is also coming out as 0 as well. But I don't understand that. I mean, this is a convoluted set of code in here we do, because we would be convoluted, wouldn't we? But it's not that complicated. Surely it's not that. Sysrandom is the bit that actually does the work. Here we go. static strings, it's on the stack, we return that, and that's what it comes out as. And I've turned off the code here. So if I just pull this window up again, so I can go and come on, thank you very much. And then CD to that location, and we can rebuild it and see whether it works. So CD there, plus ammo build 64. Okay. That looks like it's done the right thing. I want to load that module that we've just built. So instead of running the one that we've got in our test code, actually the one we've got in our test code is probably fine, but we may as well copy this one into our test code. There. And then we've run that. We'll just check whether there's anything really dumb going on here. I wonder if I've got me I wonder if I've got my return values code wrong, because it looks like this is doing exactly the right thing. Maybe the assembler code that I wrote is just broken. So if I have a look here, we can do read var returning, wow, that was a mistake. Returning string pointer %p value %s length %I, sorry. String value is going to be string question mark string comma string question mark. If it's true, then strlen string. Otherwise, if it's not got a value, the value is 0. Yeah, 0. Okay, so build that. Hope it's right. Yeah, lots of oddities in our veneers there. And then test it. So SystemVars defaults thinks it is returning. Hang on. Oh, I didn't copy the module. That's why it'd been easier to just put it in there, but it doesn't matter. Could have put it on the command line. So it thinks it is returning the correct value with the correct length, but we've got back null and 0, which probably means that my callx veneer is wrong. So let's move this all out of the way and have a look at callx. Because I thought it was right, because I copied it from before, but maybe I just made a mistake. So that's our prototype function. Right, so function private word output pointer registers goes into R10. Okay, R10. Oh, this is interesting. R10 isn't preserved. I need to preserve R10 over this. And if I need to preserve R10, then nope, that's not the right thing. I meant to copy this line up here. Probably need to copy, can preserve another register as well. So what else do I need to preserve? R12 preserve. Actually, it's only R10 I need to preserve. So I can store one register, R10. So R10, X10 in this instance, is a 64-bit register, which means it takes up 8 bytes. But the stack on ARC64 must be aligned to 16 bytes. It cannot be anything else. So even though I'm only storing 8 bytes, I still have to use this store that goes and decrements the stack by 16. And then when I load it, I can go and increment it by 16. So, yes, that's how you do it. And that should be LDR, not STR. Is that the only one? Yeah, I think that's the only thing I needed to preserve. So it's possible that X10 has been set to 0 and that's why it's gone and got itself confused. Or something else has gone wrong. But either way, I need to rebuild it. So that's this command here. Rebuild and then run. Come on. Oh, that seems bad. Why is it doing that? It's hung, crashed. Oh, that is not the, oh no, I've incremented the stack by -16. That's not going to work. If you do an increment, you have to go with positive numbers. Otherwise it's decrementing and oh my gosh, do things go bad. As well, in that case, we just hung, which was probably for the best, really. Yeah, I don't know exactly what happened. Yeah, we probably ended up re-entering SystemVar defaults. There we go. It was a register that wasn't preserved. Excellent. So, with that in mind, I can now go back to SystemVar defaults and I'll make that a dprintf because we've got debug in this, haven't we? No, we haven't. In which case, then I won't make it a dprintf. I'll just comment it out because we don't need it right now, but it could be useful in the future. So, rebuild that module. Excuse me. I've had a cough for a while. It just hasn't gone. Right, and then copy it to the right place and rebuild this and run this. And hopefully, might remove some debug from this side as well. Yep, that's given us a number. That's much better. So, SystemVars defaults is done with. It's okay. And we can go back over here to CodeVars and we can go and do we leave any debug in here? Dprintf. Yes, of course, we turn debug on, so we can turn debug off again. There we go. And then reload it. And that showed properly. If we just drop into GOS, we should be able to actually see other things working as well. I am the init file types. show variables. Lots of variables. Yay! Pretty cool. All right. Oh, that feels good. Feels like I've actually got something kind of working. So, hang on. Am I actually... Yeah, that is doing the right thing. Where did the WIMP font turn up from? Because that's not in the SystemVars defaults. I do show. Huh. Maybe it is in SystemVars defaults. What do we set it ourselves? We don't set it ourselves, do we? Oh, no! The module's being loaded early on. No, it isn't. No, I don't. It must be the window manager system that's kicking in and setting that. Must be. Yeah, interesting. Okay, what do we do here? Ah, yes, this is a fix. We just fixed the preservation of registers. As a fix for preservation of registers over the callx. The register we were relying on to be preserved for the output registers was not preserved. Actually, do we need to update that? We might not have done. I'll just say we've updated it. Okay. Push that. And then we'll be able to see it passes its tests as well. Okay. So far, all I've done is just got it back to being fixed again. The next thing I wanted to do was private pointers to in the code variables. Now these were implemented in RISC-OS Select and probably weren't implemented in RISC-OS 5 because they don't really see any point in changing anything that is difficult. Maybe not is difficult, is already working, and so they don't want to change that. So anyway, so what I need to do is add in this code variable private word pointer, which is in CodeVar. There we go. No, the private word needs to come in, doesn't it? So we also need a special value of void star for our private. Okay, and then that can be our private word. We might as well call it PW. Although we might as well call it PW. Right. I'll just call it PW, and that makes things easier because then we'll just remove this from here. Now, interestingly, we haven't implemented private words in the 32-bit side, so I need to find out how that's implemented. And if I remember rightly, RISC-OS select private L set var val. It'll be there somewhere. No, 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 no. Could it be that one? No, that's the general programming, but that's the general PLMs, not the notes. Variables. Viscos 6 maybe? Shows how much I remember, doesn't it? It's definitely up there somewhere. Because they don't have it in theirs at all, if I remember rightly. Let me just confirm that. I want set var val. Set var val. Oh gosh. Yeah, I believe it goes into R5. That's not the one I wanted. Right, so I was doing my search here, wasn't it? Private word. Oh, come on. I definitely documented this. Maybe I didn't use those words. This is it, and it will be in the core part of the system, code variables. With select for and unset of the code variables, set variables value to null. That's something we need to implement as well. I forgot about that. Workspace to pass in R12 only if R4 is 16. So that's cool. We can just do that, and then we'll pass it in R12. Interesting. Yeah, R12. So it's this bit here. It's going to go null for that, and PW for that, because that ends up in R12. Okay. W, and I want to copy the same section here. Private word. There we go. And I need to include it in the prototype as well. So I define this interface slightly differently because you have to implement it differently anyway. You have to implement the code differently. So since you have to implement the code differently, there's no, you already are looking at a different way of doing things. So I haven't really hurt things all that much there. Okay, that looks fine, I think. Yeah, so we now need to find a way to pass this in. Firstly, we'll need to copy this into our header file. Header file, please. Colon. Now that we've got this, we can just copy that here. Right. Okay. So we've got that. We now need to find a way of populating the variable with this extra private word and then getting it through to the code variable. So let's build it to begin with. Let's build it plain, no 64-bit. Oh, all right, O32. That's OZ32, sorry, module code. Rebuild everything, and now we get errors. Good. Ones and six. Okay. So we want to pass in the private word, which is actually going to be, we're going to put it into the var structure as private word. For now, it'll be fine. And 334, it was complaining as well. That was because that was just broken. All right, so that's good. Let's see if we can build it now. Build as this. It has no private word structure. Correct. Why do you call it code PW? Because that makes sense. And then we'll put it into the variables header. Void star code PW. And it'll only get populated in certain cases anyway. So build. So this is the variable right. So this is going to have to go sysvar to value.pw, or is it just sysvar.code pw? I think that's right, isn't it? Let's try that. Okay, so that's built, but it won't work because let me just clean it all out just make sure it actually does build properly. It won't work because we've never populated code pw. So let's try and do that now. If you have a look in the module interface, where we've got set var val, that's read var val, set var val. So R5 equals code private word if R4 is 16. Right, make a note here, fix me. If this is code variable, we only delete if the type was code. Otherwise, we set to empty. So code PW here wants to be void star R to R bracket 5, but actually it only wants to be that if type equals SVT code. Otherwise it's set to null. So we end up ignoring it otherwise. It also means you don't even read the register. So a sudden fear that I was muted. That I've been talking to myself for the past 50 minutes. So that's that side of it. We've managed to assign it to the variable. Now if it's a code variable here, no conversion needed. We pass it on here, and it looks like we need to pass the code string, data length, type, and potentially the code PW there. Okay. So we get that passed in, right. So that means that sysvar update or create needs to be updated. Fair enough. Which means is in variables. Update or create, here we are. And that's our void star code private word. And of course we'll need to copy this into the prototype as well. I'll just copy that over to here. There we go. Paste. Yeah, I got that right. And then find the code variable. If it doesn't exist, we'll need to pass it in here as well. Code PW. If we're updating a variable, then we'll create it as a code variable. Okay, so that means we've got code PW there as well. Otherwise, yeah, that's calling the right code, and this one is calling, it's just issuing the set as normal. Okay, that's updating the value. Delete, don't delete. Read. Where's create? Here's create. So we need code private word equals private word for code variables. And then we just need to assign it, which we can just do here. SysVar to code PW. And I think I need to update the prototype this one as well. So let's just take the prototype from there, drop into here, and then create. Where's create gone? There's create, thank you. Right, fingers crossed. Okay, what do we do wrong there? Oh, stupid. That's an equals equals, and it should be split in brackets to be clear. Okay, that's fine. That built successfully. So let's just do it completely clean and make sure it really does work. Yep, we're doing good. All right, so I think that should work. Let's do the test with it, not the 64-bit side. Just do the plain 32-bit one. I didn't have a command line, it was just plain 32, did I? 32. And I'll drop us into GOS, because then we can actually do a little bit more with it. Okay, show all the variables. Seems good. Set sys$random to be foo. Cannot set them. Good. That feels pretty nice, actually. It feels like it's actually doing the right thing. What would be good? I can't think of anything that would be good with that. That seems to be just, it should be just working. And we should pull in our test to find out whether it is or not. So let's get it pushed first. Yeah, that's fine. Add support for code variable private pointers. Code variable private pointers were introduced in SCOS select, are supported in SCOS Pyromaniac. They simplify the code and code variables significantly. in 34-bit and 32-bit. Oh no, why is it the other way around? 32-bit in R12 and 64-bit in R2 in X2. Okay, let's push that, and I should probably check that we're actually passing our tests. So let's have a look. Ah, good, the last one did as well, so just see that this one works. Only takes half a minute anyway, apparently, which is pretty cool. Okay. Oh, yes, of course. The test code has to have this handled as well. Hey, let's go and have a look at the test code, shall we? Last test. Where were we failing? 34. Yeah, so we need to pass in a null to that because the private word is now empty. If I build it again, is that all it needed? Yeah, that's all it needed. Okay. Amend. And then push. Oh, 4.6, sorry. We'll see it running here. I'm passing those tests. Passing those tests as well as dying. Success! Woohoo! Excellent. All good. So, with that in mind, code variables are now working. I think. Yeah, that's right, they're working. Check out master. Hang on a second. Dave's just said, oh, somebody's called now that I've sat down to watch this. Well, there you go. Unfortunately, that is the, well, the master did not, oh, do we call this one main? Oh, we're calling this one main apparently. Merge, no, FF, implement, code files. Right, that's now implemented. And since it's working, we should really increment the version number. Remanage increment, new version number. Increment version to 0.03. Finding code files. The module is now pretty much feature complete. There's a few oddities to look at, but we're probably pretty much there. Okay. It's not efficient, and still has debugging. Right. So I'll push that, and then we can give it a tag, and then it will get released, because we can do the whole release process. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a lot of chat this week. We've only got, what is it, so 7 people in concurrent viewers at the moment, so not very busy. Maybe I'm not that interesting this week. I mean, sorry about that. Also, I didn't schedule this until yesterday, which is probably my own fault because it's been a busy week and I haven't really felt very awake. So that's probably the biggest part of it. Hey ho. Go on, you built yet? Yep, you built. Good, thank you. So with that in mind, let us now tag it as v0.03 push origin 3. Okay, so we'll get another build happen here. There we go, that's that one going in. And because it's got a version number on it, a v tag on it, hi Arctic, we'll be able to put it into the releases. So what did we do last time? We did test SWIs, creating variables. Ooh, we've got lots of things implemented now. In fact, we can probably quickly make some notes. So let's do that. So this is going to be release 0.03 with, oops, that's not right. Right. Test SWIs in the module, yes. Claims of offset var val and var val and os read var val. Creating variables of all types. Updating variables of all types. Enumeration. What was the other bit we added in? Deleting variables. Oh, and of course, reading variables of all types. There we go. Copy that. If we reload the releases page here, if we reload it, oops, not finished, or it failed. Huh. Says it was successful and it did a release. It said it did a release. Hang on. Charles at full five. No, I'm not. Why have I even got a login on this machine for Charles at full fiber? Why have I got a login for that? Oh, that was when I was testing things to make sure things were working at work. Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's sign in as me. Continue with passkey. Must admit, passkey does make things a lot easier and certainly a lot safer whilst you're doing presentations. Right, so now if we go back to releases, now I can see it. There you go, that's what happens when you're confused. I hadn't noticed the different logo. Copy that text, put it in here. Ooh, let's put some backticks around those to make them code type. Preview. Yeah, it looks good. All right, latest release, and we'll do it. Yeah, we're going good. So yes, Arctic asks, how's the project going? We're pretty much functionally complete now. We're not got some of the bits working, but we're functionally complete. There was something I just noted down, which was that code variables should be unset should clear them rather than delete them, and made a note of that. So I'll be looking at that in a minute. Done the release there, which is good. So now I've got to update. I'm going to update, sorry, the status page, which I can't find. Where is the status page? Is that it? RISC-OS64 status. Here we go. Reload this. Thank you. So this is the RISC-OS64 status for all of the RISC-OS64 modules, and you can see there's now a set of percentages that say how far through we are. Phase 1 is 60% done. Woohoo! If we go to phase 1, we can find system variables here. And it's currently labeled as, so we'll look down here for SystemVars, it's labeled as, oh, what's that? Stub. It's definitely not just a stub. It's now all the way up to functional, I think. It's gone past being internals, and I think it's functional. So I'm going to go and update the status. So to do that, we go over here. And I haven't got a window on it, so let's go open a new terminal and cd/riscos. Come on, type. There we go, I can type. And then we can have a quick look at this. Here we are. So in here there are a number of features, one for every module. Find SystemVars, the markdown file. Thank you. So SystemVars handles environment. InSelect also handled this. They should be split out into a component. Fair enough. We now handle, and we've checked it, 64-bit does handle strings, numbers, evaluated, macros, creating variables, reading them, updating them, deleting them. And we've just added the code variables with workspace. And we've now implemented readVarVal and setVarVal. There we go, they're all now done. So that's pretty cool. And with that in mind, I also, having done that, do you want to save the change? Yes, I do. Yes, I do want to save that. I need to also change the status page, which tells us where we're up to. So I'll look for SystemVars in here. I can then say that it is now, no, not that one, that one. It's now functional on both sides. Functional. There we go. Yep, that looks like the changes I've just made. Good. Update the, oh, and I can copy the module in, can't I? Let me just copy the module in. So make sure we've built it. RISC-OS ammo build 64. One. So build it for both of them, and then I can copy the module into there as well, and then it will be usable by people if they want to. So the reason for having all of this status page and having this dot updated is really quite simple and dumb. It's because I want to communicate that information. Very, very simple. I want to communicate it out to people because I see a number of comments from people going, oh, when's RISC-OS64 going to start happening? When are people going to start doing things? We want to know what's going on. And it's been going, I've been doing things for quite some time, and have got a working environment that functions very well and can manage to do a lot of things that I want to do with it. And I've exported it out. So communicating that as a chart of where we're up to and information about each individual component. So this is what they look like if you go and actually click on them. So this is what it was looking like, and then we just finish building that. So I jump back here and build the other one. Yep, there we go, and then copy that copy RM. Oh, yeah, that's the right things. It's just I want Stark on that FFA and Stark on that FFA. There we go. Copy the module into there. So just update SystemVars module to be functional. Tests. Right, so with that I can now push that up to the status page, and if I give it a moment, because it has to go and build it, so there's two jobs here. One that goes and tests all the binaries that have been pushed, because I've just pushed a new set of binaries. It will go and test them, and another one that will go and update the wiki with all the data, all the new information. So this wiki update, yeah, it takes 12 seconds. It's barely anything. It also gives us a bunch of stats down here. Lots of stats, which people can see. But having updated it, this page should now be able to be refreshed. And we've got lots of ticks in there. Those are still not done because I'm still not sure where to put them. And if we have a look at the phase 1 work, we now see SystemVars is up here in functional, which makes things a bit better. So that's basically what I'm trying to do with this, is to ensure that there's information made available to people so everybody can see where we're up to, and they can't say what's going on. Well, they can, but they can at least find the information on the public pages all the time, and download the latest versions of the binaries to see that they work if they wish to themselves. They're all testable, all able to be used. Even the 64-bit ones can be used by people, because the Viscos build service provides you a shell that you can actually use them in, all of which makes it quite nice that you can actually test all this stuff out and try and make your code work before you even have the rest of the system. Anyway, that's that done. If I look at the actions now, we should see that this is still running. If I remember rightly, this takes about 10 minutes or something. How long does it take to actually do the test all binaries? About 15 minutes. Ooh, took 22 minutes there. It takes longer and longer the more you add to it, because, well, obviously it will, because there's more to test. But anyway, that's going to keep doing its tests, and it will drop me an email if it fails. All it does, these tests, is it goes load the module, in this case, or just try and run it with executables. It's just a band limit, cmung and so on. Oh, there we go. It's running other tests now. There we are. So it's not actually even doing anything with cmung in this instance. It's just printing out a bunch of help text. But the fact is that proves that it at least loads. It's got a basic smoke test to prove that we haven't broken it fundamentally. And then it'll move on to doing the modules, and we'll get the SystemVars tested, which should work, I hope. It may actually have causes problems, because it may mean that we can't actually find anything. We may find that the parts of the system break. But we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not the end of the world either way. Right, so with that, I think it's a good time for me to take a short break, because I think that's it's going to take 10 minutes to do that, and I'm going to get myself another drink and just have a little bit of a break. So 10-minute break. I'll not leave this on the screen, because if I leave it on the screen, then it'd be pretty boring. Yeah, I could do. It'd be nice if I had a break time banner or something I could put over it, wouldn't it? Could do a little thing with that. I don't know. Maybe there's something I could do with that would be clever. Anyway, something I can think on later. Right, let's have a break. Back around. Oh, it started on modules now. I might just leave it running there, and you can watch it as it happens. 10-minute break. Back around 2:30, 2:25, 2:30. Yes, it might be pineapple take juice time. All right, there you go. I'll leave that on the screen. Yes, I'll just mute things and. Hello, back with a very dark room it seems. I was hoping that might change the contrast and stuff, but let's have a go. Trying to dunk my shirt in things. Right. That was not effective. Let's see what we can do with the lines. It'll do. It'll do. You can just about see me. It looks like an episode of Power Armor. Fair enough. We'll sort something out at some point. I do keep tweaking my settings to make things a bit better, but yeah, we'll see. Right. Right, let's have a see. So this is the test results. They're all pretty much working. We've got 3 skip tests in there, and yeah, all good. So I am hoping, he says. Publish test results. What's that published to? Oh, did it publish it as that? Yeah, we get a little results there. That's right. All good. And then this also comes out as well. It shows us the test results. Anyway, so we have SystemVars pretty much working. So the next thing is to start introducing some tests to it, because we need tests. And if I remember rightly, we did some tests in the, trying to remember what it's called, debugger module. And so if we go back here and we have a look at, where did I put debugger? Put modules, risk sources, programmer, debugger 2. No. Did I not check it in even? Is it actually just here? Riscos debugger. No. Riscos debugger C in the external ports area. Yeah, I'm not exactly the most organised of people, apparently. Anyway, so it's there. So if we have a look in there, cd to that directory, and we have a look in there, make sure we've got the latest version. We've got a bunch of stuff inside test code which does things. And we had a bunch of code that was being run from the Pyromaniac side, which did testing. So I think the first thing to do is to actually take a copy of that Pyromaniac. If we look in test code here, look in test code in the debugger, we can see there's actually some S directories, header directories, expectations, and a make file to pull it all together, and the test tool as well. So what we can do is we can just compare these things. So this directory against /projects riscos SystemVars. Okay. Oh no, don't do that. Come on. Dear me. Bouncing to the wrong display. I wonder if there's a way to lock it so it can't get to a different workspace. Probably is. I'll have to look into that. Right, so the bit I was caring about was this test code directory. So in particular, it's got a make file, run on build service, tests. We're going to want all of those. Let's copy those over. We're also going to want probably arg common. I suspect we'll need that. Header files, yeah, we'll want those. Expectations, we'll create those, we need them. And then everything else should be, oh no, we need a test script. And then we can copy these over from Pyromaniac. Git ignore, there's a custom git ignore in this. Oh, all the object files. Yeah, we'll copy that over as well. We may or may not need some of these. I'll just have to work out what I need and what I don't need. But for now, we'll start out with this. Right. Second thing is to copy from projects ro Pyromaniac test code slash SystemVars. No. var read and var set are the ones that we want. Var read, and that can go into test code slash s slash var read, and the same goes for var set as well. There'll be two sets of tests there, and then we'll just build that. So if we cd into test code and do a make in there. I didn't create the bin directory. Let's do a bin. Try again. Okay. And then I need to find what the tests were that we're using it. So let's grep for var read in this directory, name the text files. Oh, test SysVars. That's a pretty sensible name for it to be using. So tests SysVars, and we'll call this test SysVars Pyro because we're going to want to modify them slightly. Test code. Oh, there's a lot of things called sys, aren't there? Yeah, there's a lot of tests that have got the name sys in them. Oh. SysVars, there we go. I'm already in the test code directory, that's why. All right, let's have a look at that then. Refresh the folders. That's the wrong folder, that's just RISC-64 status. Don't need that anymore because we've done the release. Test code, here we go. So, looks like that there's not very many SystemVars in here. We've got SystemVars for reading. Enumeration, writing, other type. This looks like it's pretty comprehensive. I'm liking this so far. I mean, it might fail completely, but we'll see how we get on. All right, let's have a look at what the make file does. So the make file works on all of these things, and then it calls into tests, which does test debugger. Nope, we don't want to use test debugger anymore. We want to use tests SysVars. And that's the only one we need. We don't need SWIs because there's only one test set to run. Transform Pyro test. Oh, we need that script as well. Transform Pyro test to build service. Transform Pyro tests. Copy it over there. Done. Okay, likelihood of this working is pretty low, but let's have a see. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Make tests. Can't open test, debugger. I missed something there. Where else did we write debugger? Oh yeah, there, that's not right, is it? We want to do, that should in fact be module, shouldn't it? Yeah, that looks good. Did we mention debugger anywhere else in there? No. Still failing though. Maybe this transform pyro test to build service is the one that's failing. Oh no, it's because of this, isn't it? This is the primary test script calls into this. SystemVars. There we go. Can't read replacement files bar. Oh, okay. So we need some expectations. Oh, this is not the one, is it? This is not. I want the one from to compare. Recompare. Oh, come on. Compare. This directory against, not that, against Pyromaniac test code. And then we can copy over some of the expectations. So here we go. Here's some expectations. And all of the expectations are for variables here. So let's just copy all them across. Some of them we won't need, but we'll just copy the lot across and we'll see what happens. File debugger not found. All these are going to fail if it's trying to find load debugger all there all the time. And we've got a bunch of variables. Oh, yeah, some of this is going to be very, very difficult to test the same way, isn't it? So what does this transform do? We replace the words expect debugger with that. We do config message trans support is that. And we remove anything that's quiet. Okay. Oh, excuse me. We don't need these ones anymore because we're not testing a module. Maybe we should be testing a module, but we're not. Okay, so that's those. And this copies across the debugger. Right. Okay, so we need to update this to be the things we're going to do. So SystemVars module. We need the binary for var read and the binary for var write. And I think that's it. And then just the test data directory. I don't think we have anything in test data, but we'll see. Okay, and then if we have a look down here, we should have a thing that's trying to load debugger. Yeah, rm load debugger, that's not going to work. It's going to be rm load SystemVars. Okay. Give it a whirl. I mean, like most of these things, the tests are going to be... Ooh. Well, actually, that looks right. I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be printing out some of the things, but... And we've got this stuff about setting variables. Yeah, I can go and kill those off. I think we probably also need to load the other module as well. This is taking a long time to load. I wonder why that's failing. Could be because it's doing something it's not expecting. Interesting. Control C. Okay. Let's have a see then. So, all of them are going to be printing out module SystemVars initialized. We can fix that by just making it not do that. That's quite easy. So, make that a dprintf and a dprintf here so that it only prints it when debug is enabled. And the output error was no such variable system variable not found. Very slightly different, but the error number is exactly the same. So that's a successful test, I think. This one, systole_time. Claims to not exist, not found. Well, that's correct because we haven't loaded the second module, the other one we have. So what we could do with is we also need that module to be passed over. People are making jokes about the fact that I look like I'm one of the people on Panorama. Just amuse me. I know I'm easily amused as well. Right, let's just get that bit compiled right now. Git status. Make. Sorry. No, so test has SystemVars defaults in there, so we could probably just load that one as well, I think. How do I send that module? I probably have to copy it into this directory, don't I? Where's my make file gone? This one here. Build that there. So we also rely on I'll just put it in here. /tests. We also rely on having systemvar defaults. And to get systemvar, can I just do %, goes to do that? I think I can do that. And that is state 2. You're seeing some webcam description. Yeah, I keep getting it flashing up as well. Like it's missing frames or something. I'm not sure why. I haven't really done very much to it. Give me a second, I'll just go and whip cable out, cable in again. Hasn't been recognized. Oh, there we go, it's recognized again. All right, so I've unplugged it and plugged it in again. You never know. Professional YouTubers don't have this problem, do they? Then again, they probably have slightly more powerful machines and more kit around them, and probably more expensive cameras and things as well. I mean, mine wasn't hugely expensive, but it's pretty decent for what it is. Again, many things that could be done differently.
Right. Well, I'm glad. I mean, it's not nice that unplugging it and plugging it in again seems to have fixed it, but at least it has done the job. Excuse me. Right, I want to go back to the test script again. Build on build service, because that needs to build up a new defaults 32. Yeah, there we go. And then we do the necessary plans. Lines. I don't know. Okay, I think that may do the job. So we built the module. Make build. That's how you should build it. That's right. Make file module wouldn't open. Oh, okay, because it's not called make file module in here. Just make file. Okay. And then make tests. Make test. No rule to make SystemVars defaults 32. What? Percent relies on thing. SystemVars defaults. Probably a sensible name, yeah. Tests. Oh, that didn't work. That didn't work at all. I thought that would be safe, but maybe not. We'll literally just put the text in there. There we go. Right. File not. Oh, because I forgot. I didn't tell it to go and copy it over, did I? This is a little bit fiddly, but I'm working on making these tests a little bit more friendly as time goes on rather. Still didn't like it. Oh, because I've called it the wrong thing in here as well, haven't I? Bars, defaults. Still no corruption on the camera. SystemVars it was. Now what? I've done that, didn't I? SystemVars defaults 32. SystemVars, oh, 64. Who's an idiot? Cool, it's all been good since. Oh, look at this. We've got some extra debug in here from SystemVars defaults. We should probably disable that as well. So all of these are just saying there's the extra debug that's coming out of SystemVars defaults. Everything else is coming out fine. All the other output is okay, which is basically saying, yeah, we're good. It's this time with territory. Not sure what that's doing. I suspect those have just been failing. I've been but they're not quite the right commands anyway. Looks okay. That's failing, yeah, because that it can't set variables. Fair enough. Ooh, writing is coming out quite differently. Why is that? Bin var set. Oh, read and set, not read and write. Okay, so I think the best thing to do here is to get the not debugger, SystemVars not to have any debug in it. So I turn off, go into module and turn off debug. Come on, type. Build the 32-bit version. Just load it and check that it works. Module SystemVars default, yeah. Still printing stuff out. That's not right. So let's have a quick look. Got a window already here. So where do you think it would be? Probably this one, I guess. Turn that off. Build it. Doesn't seem. Yeah, that seems good. It hasn't actually left any debug anywhere, it doesn't look like. So I'm feeling comfortable with that. Ooh, sysrandom hasn't been added. Apparently I didn't even commit this after I made the changes. That's odd. Might as well do it now whilst I'm here. Add sys$random. Disable debugging. Sys$random has been added to allow us to get random numbers to the command line. Not very interesting, but that's what it is. Okay, so with that in mind, I can now go push it, and I can probably do a risk build 64. Can I make sure it builds the mod head as well, because we had problems with that. Okay, yeah, that's what I thought might happen. I'll clean it and then rebuild it. And link successfully. Copy copy the file into the status directory, and we can have that one updated later. Right, so there's our system variables module. So I'm 32/.
SystemVars defaults, and that needs to go into projects RO SystemVars tests as SystemVars 32. And the same goes for the 64-bit version as 64. Okay. Back over here, and now these tests should start to pass more cleanly. It's nice when some tests pass. That's fine. Looks good, this. I think if I have a look at, oh, that's the SystemVars one, let's move that out of the way. I'll just have a look over here at the test code. That's the wildcard enumeration, which we might need a different type of test for that. Standard code variables underscore territory. What does that mean? Do we pass something in? So we call into var read. There's no territory handling in here. Oh, but it does load into, oh, so these are irrelevant. So skip, not relevant for outside pyromaniac. Is it skip or is it disable? Not sure. So we return cannot return set time, and it says cannot return system time. And we have slightly different error numbers. Okay. System time sounds like a better phrase on that. Look at this. We're actually getting some good tests out of this. I'm actually quite pleased. I mean, some of them are, yeah, this one's wildcard enumeration. I think that's just not going to be possible. Although we probably could enumerate sys$. I think sys$ would be a good one to do there. And that's it. Another one there that tries to set a variable beforehand. I mean, I could actually pass that and turn it into a command. I could pass that and turn it into a command. Is that a good idea? Probably, actually. Setting. Yeah, a lot of these are working okay. But the expectations in the variable directory for territory can go, because we don't have any of those tests anymore. All the other ones that are odd, there's the set variable thing, and then this set system time. So we can fix most of that by just changing the error message, because I think the error message is better than system time. Oh no, that's no message from default SystemVars. So not this code, not this module. Okay.
So I think we're only looking at this enumeration one, and I think if I make set variable work as an argument, read crux buffer, so that won't actually do anything, will it? Does that config just get turned into nothing by the code? Use my config. We actually turn them into config commands, that's why. Oh, that's quite cute. So actually, if I do the same with variables, do set variable, set variable, next arg is a set. If it's a command, if it's a config, if it's a set, setting, we want to do a replacement of that equals. Oh, yeah, all right. var equals $1. I can never remember the blooming way around this goes. Bash foo equals hello. Echo foo hash e star. Is that the right way around? No. %. Greedy. Remove everything after the e star. So that will be remove everything out. So I've actually made it into a thing that I actually expect it to be. So if this equals that, it would be foo equals star. That's the variable. So we do $1 %% equals star. That's the variable name. And then val equals $, I think it's hash, or hash, sorry, star equals. Excellent. Yeah, because it doesn't really love magic bash sequences. Var $val. Who's setting can't spell. Right. So now set variable should do the right thing as well, which is kind of fun. Where is next arg? Shell check warning. Not telling me what the warning is. Tell me what the warning is. Use var equals $ command. Oh, it's thinking that I meant to do something there. It's thinking that I meant to do something there as well, but I didn't. Those are actual literals. And since they are literals, I could put quotes around it, and that probably stops shell check from complaining. Dave says, I used to work on a 3,500 line bash script that pretended to be GCC for reasons. Shell check was invaluable for keeping it in working order, yes. The scripts that I've got that make GCC look like Riscos CC is not that big, but it's still pretty nasty. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. But yeah, there's things like this that are like, okay, fine, that's just nasty. Make tests. Oh no, skip was not how you write it. You write it as disable. I can never remember how you do this. Maybe I should make the tool just accept skip
an alias for disable. So mostly I do use shell check for a lot of things, but I do ignore a lot of what it says. Like, yeah, that's fine, I don't care on the early things, but at least it warns me that I've done something a little bit awry every now and then. Ooh, that one passed. That test with the set variables did pass. I quite like this. This is quite neat. I was not expecting the test to actually go this well, because, well, there are quite a lot of different things. Reading with corruption will actually work because, except no, SystemVars won't do anything in this instance, will it? Because the corruption won't kick in. I'll turn those ones off as well. Where's the corruption ones? Reading with corruption. Skip all of them. That command doesn't actually... Should actually have that in there, because it won't be doing what we were thinking it's doing. It's just retesting the same thing. I think this has done the hanging thing. Sometimes this hangs, and I don't know what has caused it to fail to read. I suspect it's a bug in my client, but looks like this is all working quite well. Is there anything else that's likely to fail here? Yeah, I think that looks good. Git status. Right, let's add some of these tests to everything. So, footer makefile, whatever that script's called, testing star, transform tool, and git ignore, bin, expect, run on build service, tests, test.poll, and test text. And the expectations, just have a quick look in there. They don't look like there's anything that's going to be weird there. Oh, the actual, delete actual didn't. Let's just remove that file and remove that one as well. Oh, bother. Expect var, delete them back again. Okay. I think that should do the job. The only bit I want to do now is just make sure that we actually invoke this as part of our testing. And the way to do that is check how I did it in debugger, which probably will be in the GitHub workflow. Ooh, issue templates and pull request templates. I should probably copy them over as well. Run the tests.
Do we just, is that all we do? We just do cd test code and then make tests? I think so. Extract the debugger we built. Yes, we should definitely extract the one we built from there. Put it in the modules directory so we can use it. It's not really called debugger, we want to call it something else. SystemVars. SystemVars. And then cd into the test code and run tests. Okay. Well, I think that should kind of work. Oh, there's also, let's recompare. There we go, that's better, that's more like it. Copy USCOS build online to there. I thought the test code already got its own copy of build online. Yeah, we might as well copy that in there. Looks okay. Go. All right. I'm thinking this should just work. So check out a branch, new branch for introduce CI testing. Copy over the Pyromaniac tests together with debugger harness. The tests have been copied out of USCOS Pyromaniac and added to the repository together with the test harness code we built for debugger. This lets us run the tests on the build service very much like Pyromaniac does. There we go. And then we'll push it and see how it goes. Drum roll, please. No, I don't think we need a drum roll. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. Invalid option A. Invalid option A. I think it's failing. All right, so that probably means we've got a different version. And it's almost certainly in here. So here we go. Got version 7, we're using version 5, so let's use version 7. Can we kill this? Cancel workflow. Don't think it's really cancelling it. Oh, no. Push -F because I've updated it, and there we go. Right, let's try again, shall we? Oh, yes, you need to click on that, otherwise you don't see anything. It's really boring. Here we go, we're in the testing set phase now. Okay. How exciting! I'm going to take this opportunity to just pop to the loo, and I'll be back in a moment. But working!
Not just you. I've been talking to myself. It's me. I put it on mute when I popped to the toilet, didn't I? Right. All I was saying was, that's really cool, it's working. I was showing off the different parts of the debugger system that are present and the like. The bug reports and feature requests and pull request templates. So yes, sorry about that, my foolishness. This is where an on-air banner would be really good for me in here. Yeah, so what I was saying was, as I was talking to myself, I'm not sure whether I want to call this a day with this one, because I could do some optimizations now. So the implementation is just a list traversal, which isn't very efficient. And that means that it's got definitely some scope for improvements, and it could be improved by doing some a hash table in there. We could have a binary search in it. We could have a partial string search. We could have just some simple prefix searches in there. There's a number of different ways we could do it. Excuse me. Which might have different effects on the things. Yeah, I know you've got some containers there, Dave. If you want to have see how to add them to it, it would be lovely. I have looked at them and gone, don't know how to integrate these in the past, and I meant to go and mention it to you, but I haven't got around to doing so. So sorry about that. But yeah, they would be an ideal thing to try and use for this. And if you wanted to integrate one into there, well, that would be cool too, because this is what open source development is about, not just me doing things openly, but other people contributing as well. I may go and ask people whether they want to have some discussion about optimization and the like, and do that as one of my sessions. But right now, I think we'll probably be calling it with this. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week, but I'm going to finish off writing the README file and see what else we need to do. It's pretty simple. Can provides both OS, SWI implementations and a non-OS. Interviews on exclusivity with secure systems. We don't pull anything else in. Yep. The disassembly, new. The implementation supports stringed variables, stringed number variables, macro variables, setting variables literally and with GS trends, reading, creating, reading, redoing, updating and deleting variables. There's also a separate command as well. Development is documented through a live coding series on YouTube. The sessions can be found here. That's not the link to it. Where is the link to it? Copy. So that's the link to this. Now, can I get to the playlist from this? Oh my gosh, Inception-y.
System coding. No, I want to get to the playlists. I'm going to have to go to me and find it from there, aren't I? Playlists. System variables. There we go. So if we click, hey, it says there. Thanks for that. Copy link address. Yeah. There we go. Right, code is released under, is it released under that? I don't know. 3-clause BSD license, excellent. Git status, oops, git status. Right, let's add in issue template. Okay, GitHub issue template. That entire directory. Pull request template. And the README file. Oh, add, that's what I missed. Oh, actually no. Check out main, merge, no ff, introduce, CI testing, stash. Right. Add GitHub issues, pull request and pull request templates, and README. Functional, not complete. The module repository README and some templates for people reporting issues or submitting code. Okay, and I know I've already updated the version 1s today, but we're now done, so I'm going to give it a new version. Manage increment commit what was it, 0.4? 0.4. Tag the 0.04 push origin v 0.04. Good to push already? I think so. Not that. This one. That one should be waiting. Oh no, they're not waiting. There must be something I've missed there that causes them to keep going. Doesn't matter. Right, and we'll build it. Actually, but make a clean version. And do the same for the 64-bit. I'll build the 64-bit version as well. And then copy them over to the Viscos 64 status site again, and we'll have another release on there that now has implementation of it, which is quite cool. Oh, this is dull. Yeah, we'll get this finished and then we'll be done. Oh, I can have a rest because I'm tired. I've just been tired all round recently. I think it's the Terry and I have both been very tired in general. I think it's oh look, we've finished the wedding thing now, so we're our bodies can relax. There we are. CP RM 42. Copy those over to there. And in 64 status, actually, so functional. Do we want to go beyond functional, and do we want to move it into tested? Because I think we're actually we've got tests in there. I can't remember how you write them. We do planning. Terminology, that's the word I wanted. Tested is the implemented and tested manually. Testing has been automated. I think we go all in on this one. I think we go testing has been automated. There we go. Which I would say is I don't think that's overstepping the mark either. I think that's actually quite true, that we have actually got that done. Updated the SystemVars module to say is automated. Go. I'll pop over here, and the release has now been finished, so we can go back to here and go to this and just add release 0.04. That's all I'm going to write because I don't think it's worth putting much more than that. There we are. And then if we go over to the 64-bit status pages, which is this one. Oh, wiki update failed. Oh, what does that mean? Gist cannot be updated. I had this happen before, and it said it failed the update, and then I reapplied it, and it updated it just fine. Even failed jobs, yeah. See, what we do is for those little badges you see, the what do we call it ones? The phase 1 60%, those things. Those are actually gists. There we go, it's in the builds now. Updating gists. It's updated fine this time.
Don't know. How weird. Might be you can't update them so quickly. Is it that? Where do you get to my gists? Gists. Here we go. Okay. Badly named this, but that's the one anyway. And this is a gist that has just the SVG files on it, and we reference those. So we go and build those and then upload them to here, and then we can reference them and their dynamic content. 61% now, which is all part of the fun of this, I suppose. If we look at the wiki now, we should see, yeah, this bit doesn't always reload because of caching and the like. So don't worry about that. But SystemVars. Oh, I didn't update it in that section, did I? This bit here. Oh no, I did. I did update it. Oh, that's target functionality. Sorry, target functionality is there. Yes. And here, all the way through to purple. Ooh, how cool is that? All the way through to purple. Yeah. All right. So I am happy with that. We have done a lot of good things today. Fixed a number of bugs. Managed to add the code private words and all the testing, which is now automated, and this is one of the better modules. I suspect that actually we should put debugger as having automated testing because it also has the same level of things. But yeah, I'm not going to worry too much. We can argue on that later, but I think that's gone really well. With that in mind, the only bits I really want to think about next is optimizations of the actual lookup. Well, lookup really, writing we don't really care about, but lookup is really the key one for this. So, David, if you wish to have a play with it yourself, then feel free. There's nothing wrong with that. Otherwise, maybe I'll have a look next week. I might just do a simple hash list and just be happy with that. Or we could do a binary list or something. Really depends on how lazy I'm feeling, I guess. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that'll be next week. Will probably be optimizations, unless we're not particularly interested. And then there might be a gap again. There might be a break because I have a presentation to do on the 17th of November to talk about all the Pyromaniac stuff for the past few years and where I'm up to, what's been done. So it'll be really interesting to get that done, but it eats into my time, and I don't want to find myself having no time to prepare for that because my preparation takes ages. I'm somewhat I go over the top on my preparation sometimes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I think we're good, and I'll probably have a session next week. I'll schedule it shortly. Thank you and bye. I'm sorry for the dark image of me. See ya. Bye.